Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table, where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everyone, it is Yo on the Go back here at the Style Table. I'm here with superstar Angel Livas, founder of The Woman Behind the Business. She's an award-winning executive producer, multimedia personality, president and CEO of DC Media, LLC, and a host of other things, also an author. So welcome to the show. I want to talk about just everything as it relates to style and how you show up, because you are front and center everywhere on every platform. And so I want you to first off tell us about yourself. I want to hear a little bit more about all the things that you do, and also definitely want to hear about some of the things that you're doing now in addition to all of this, because you do a lot.
Yeah, no, well, first off, thank you, Yo-Yo, for inviting me to be at your table, giving me the opportunity to have a seat at your table to have this conversation. It's been a very long journey. I've been working in media for a little over 20 years, so 22 years. And I started my company 7 years ago. So DC Media Connection, we've kind of morphed over time, especially after COVID, where now we specifically focus on audio and video production while also doing a little bit of branding to help companies really be able to get and package their brand well. And then we most recently launched the Alive Podcast Network, which is the first Black woman-owned podcast network to be non-exclusive to any particular directory and be a creator of content for both men and women of color. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing lately, but the network is definitely my newest venture.
And you also were nominated by the NAACP Image Awards for Under Construction with Tamar Braxton. Is that correct?
Yes. So that was definitely a amazing opportunity to be recognized for your work, to be able to attend the awards event out in LA recently. That particular show was definitely a labor of love, a labor of really wanting to help people with mental health, mental awareness. So to be recognized for that particular show under your own brand is definitely, it's definitely a bonus.
Now we're going to talk about, of course, how you were dressed for this event. And I want to hear all about it because it's very glamorous, and you are obviously a very glamorous and beautiful woman. How did you make the decision on what to wear? How did you feel in your gown, because it's a gala? How did you feel?
Okay, so oddly enough, before going, because like I said, the awards out in LA, I live on the East Coast, and I always, take my time anytime I'm traveling, and I pick out specifics. Like, I know I have this event, I want this type of look for it. I don't want the same look for every event. So for the official award screening, I was like, well, it's red carpet, but the other events were red carpet too. But this is red carpet, red carpet. Like, all of the main media platforms are going to be here. Like, so I want to make sure that I am representing my brand, representing our podcast, because I was the only one there from our show. So I picked out this McDougal dress, and I got it on, and it's a gorgeous dress. It's a gorgeous dress. The back is open with crisscross down the back, poofy sleeves, gorgeous, right? And I was supposed to be on the red carpet by 4 o'clock, and I turned to my guy, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to wear this. Like, don't think I want to, yeah, I'm not feeling it." I was like, it's so much material. I was like, it's so foo-foo. And I'm not really like a foo-foo girl. When I say foo-foo, like fluffy, and you know what I mean? Like
Right.
a
All
lot of
right.
extra, right?
Right.
And he was like, Angel, it is 4 o'clock. It is time for you to get out that door. You don't have time to change. I was like, okay. So when you're in something that you love, and even when you're in something that you're not completely committed to, you still have to own that piece when it's on you and
Yes.
when you walk into a room, regardless, right? And so, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I commanded the attention of the room and got on the red carpet, and literally everyone just wanted to know what I had on. And I was like, really? You don't want to ask me nothing else? Like, it was who is this designer? And I didn't know the designer's name at the time. So it was actually a lady from the Golden Globes who like looked in the back of my dress to figure out, because I was like, please tell me, because I'm tired of people asking me and me not being able to answer. But when you're able, like I said, like at first I was ready to take the dress off. Like I was saying, I was ready to take the dress off. So to receive that type of like recognition and like response from people, like, this is amazing, like you're killing it in this dress. So yeah, I mean, that was the experience with that particular game.
And you said you were recognized by several publications as being the best dress. You want to tell us about that?
One of the best dress, or one of like the best, like, I guess, appearance at the awards. So that was really fun, to be, noted with like Megan Good and Kerry Washington, and others. And then it's like, oh, there's Angel Livas. Who is Angel Livas? But it was warranted. But those are the reasons why you put extra effort into what you look like when you step out. There should be no differentiator. Nobody should care whether they know your name or not. They should want to know who you are just from what you step into the room and what you look like.
Exactly. I always say when you walk into a room, you want to walk in and command the room. You take the time to get dressed. You want to walk in where people look at you like, I want to know what she has to say. I want to talk to this woman. I want to know this woman. And
Hmm.
people wanted to know,
They wanted to know,
who is Angel Livas? Who is this woman? Who is this fabulous woman? Everybody wants to know. And I love that. I love that. That's perfection. That's perfection. And that's when you know you're walking in like the boss
like
lady,
a boss.
like a boss, right? That is it. That is what I call that's dream for me. That's how women should walk in. You want to feel powerful. And
Yeah.
I think that is fantastic. So tell me now, I'm looking at, first off, I love the bangs because it's
Thank
definitely, I'm seeing it on the runways 2022. So I'm sure you're always current and fabulous.
Girl,
Love
I
it.
just like the bangs. I've been wearing bangs like for a while, but like it's one of my go-tos because I feel like my forehead is so big. So I feel like it like frames your face and gives you a different little style too. So yeah.
Well, you look amazing. I love the look. I love the
Thank
look.
you.
definitely. And I also, because you do this podcast, and I want you to tell us about the podcast, that podcast network.
Okay.
Not just a podcast, but y'all, a podcast network she has. So I'm going to ask her a little to tell us a little bit, introduce that, and when we come back from our break, we're going to talk more about it and how it affects and how she's helping other people with her podcast network.
So the podcast network, today I was talking about it with a potential investor, and they essentially were like, "Oh, so it's like a podcast label, equivalent to like a record label, but for podcasts." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you could say that." So that is one of the ways in which we are really working to revolutionize the way that people consume content and really create a two-way conversation between hosts and their audiences.
Okay, when we come back from the break, we are going to talk more about this podcast network. Also, we're going to talk more about style and being a Black woman as a businesswoman, as a powerhouse, how you show up and how your style affects your business. Hey, everybody, it is Yo on the Go back here at the Style Table with our lovely guest and superstar and style icon, Angel Livas. So she's going to tell us more about her podcast network and
So,
how. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. And how?
And how you help other people expand their brands and get involved with your podcast network and how you're planning on expanding this.
So thank you. So the Live Podcast Network launched less than a month ago. So February 22nd, we launched with two shows under construction with Tamar Braxton and an original show called The Devil is a Lie, which is all around imposter syndrome and overcoming it and those negative thoughts that we sometimes endure and deal with. And so since its launch, we've already are about to sign 4 additional podcasters onto the network, and we're looking to try to have their shows live by the end of April. And so the goal of the network is to really amplify Black voices. One of the reasons why I started the network is because after working in the industry for as long as I've worked in the industry, I've seen how large media organizations really try to muzzle the Black voice. They really try to control what's being said. If they decide that I don't want your show on my network anymore, it gets canceled. It doesn't have to really be a rhyme or reason. They have kind of that authority because it's their network, it's their platform. And so I've seen it happen to the point that one of the shows that I was working on got canceled like that. There really was no real explanation outside of, oh, we didn't like your numbers anymore. So we're just going in another direction, right? And so what I learned from that experience was a lot of times people don't care about the impact that these shows and these hosts are having in their communities and how they're really connecting to an audience that may not be able to afford therapy, but find that listening to what other people have gone through, how it's ministering to them and it's really helping them heal. And so for me, the impact is what really was like, does nobody cares about this? Nobody cares, because for me, I was still getting the emails from the people. Like, where'd the show go? This was helping me. I needed this. I looked forward to these conversations. And sometimes you really don't know how your voice is really speaking to people and how they're looking forward to that 30 minutes or that hour that you're able to bring to them in a given week. And so that's why it's called Alive, because we really want to challenge people to not only live, but to really be alive. And I want the content to reflect that. And I want people to feel like they can be a part of their favorite hosts' experiences and really get to connect and engage with them, not just one way, but in two-way conversations. So the host can even understand the impact that they're having with their audience. So it's going to be a powerful platform. The programming has already started, and we are working to build out an app as well. So it's going to be
Wow.
definitely something to, like I said, revolutionize the way that we receive information, and really want to be able to engage with that content.
Now I want to talk to you about, you mentioned, investors, and as a Black woman, how you show up, and you want to show up as your authentic self, but also you're like, I need the investment.
Right.
How do they react? How do you dress, and how do they react to you when you show up for these types of meetings?
So I think that for me, I always have to be comfortable with Angel, and I always have to be comfortable with what I look like. So I'm a little over the top with how I dress, and it's my parents' fault because that's how they raised me. And so because of that, sometimes I'm overdressed for certain situations, but for me, I'm just right. And so when you walk into any situation, I often tell people, don't worry about what anybody else has on. Because some people, you think about certain like galas or events, people are like, oh, what are you going to wear? Or what did they tell you to wear? I don't need anybody to tell me what the attire is. I'm going to wear what I'm going to be comfortable in and what I feel like is suitable for that particular environment. People pass judgments, especially as a Black woman in the industry that I'm
Yes,
in. They're
yes.
going to automatically assume whatever about you. And for me in particular, my entire life, I've been in rooms and positions where people think that I'm like a little kid. Like they have no idea how old I am. And so that also speaks to how I have to dress. I can't dress like maybe another culture might show up to a particular event because they're already looking at me and gonna pass a judgment because they're, like I said, like, oh, who's this little Black girl? Or, what could she possibly know? Until you look at my resume or until I speak. And sometimes I'll just let you wonder and sit and let you come up with your own conclusions. But, you know, I will always do my part for who I am so that I'm comfortable in the spaces that I'm operating.
Right, because you're always most powerful when you show up as your true, authentic self.
Absolutely. All of that. And it's really like the confidence, the the confidence goes so far, but for a lot of people, you even think back. I know my mom used to always say, like, you feel good. Like, if you're sick, go get your hair done. You feel better when you feel like you look good.
Right.
And so being able to dress to that, if you feel like you're looking frumpy and you don't like what you got on, but if you can own it, make it work to your benefit, then you're still going to attract people to you. And for me, going back to what you said earlier, owning the room when you step in. If there's investors in the room and you don't even know that there's investors in the room, but you've walked in and they see your confidence and they're like, I don't know who that is, but I got to find out who that is.
Exactly.
And then you share with them what you're doing. I've done it before. I've literally gone in Vegas, true story. I was in Vegas last year for my birthday, and I was just hanging out. I walked into this space. This older gentleman like sent over a bottle of champagne, had the person come over, was just like, I just want to meet that person and know what they do. I went over, I told them, wrote me a check for $10,000, like towards my business idea. That's it. So I know it's possible. I know what can happen when you're confident in who you are and you own that space and you walk in and you know who you are.
This is so good, because this is real, and this is what a lot of women need to hear, especially women who are transitioning from business, from like corporate,
Mm-hmm.
to starting their own business
Mm-hmm.
and having to ask for that money. and
Yeah,
you
and you
want to
can't
walk
be
in, you
afraid.
need to walk in like you know, because you do, because you're starting that business because you know 100% of the information. You're
Mm-hmm.
good at this. So you're
Mm-hmm.
the expert. You need to look the part to attract the attention to get what you need. So, Angel, I want you to please tell us how we can connect with you, how we can download that podcast, how we can get to that.
You can follow us at alivepodcastnetwork.com. You can visit us online. There you will see the different shows. You'll be able to listen to the shows online. The app is in development, it's to come. But right now we are online as well as on your favorite podcast platform. The two shows that are available is called The Devil is a Lie, which is hosted by me. And there's also Under Construction with Tamar Braxton. And then follow us on social media on Instagram at Alive Podcast Network. And there you'll learn about all of the new shows as they come out.
Fantastic. Well, that is all for today. I hope you will come back next week, Thursdays at 5:30 with more Yo on the Go at the Style Table. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.